Welcome to my channel where I feature tours of unique homes and creative spaces. This week's video is part of my alternative home playlist where I feature homes of all sizes doing unique and creative things to make a spectacular home. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most unique homes I've ever seen. And that says a lot because I have over 100 tours on this channel. This home was created out of the passion, talent, and obsession of one man, and it has taken decades of work, and it still isn't complete. So let's take a look at Ricky's home, which he calls Luna Parc.
I'm Ricky of Luna Parc, and you're here at my home, studio, and greatest obsession. I was 28 years old. It was the winter of 1988, and I took one look at this dilapidated little cabin, and I knew that this would be the place I would spend the rest of my life. My original little cabin was only 600 square feet, and when I was 28, that was really just fine. I was a collector, and the house became very tight. Space was really at a premium, and I knew that if I was going to continue on this path of collecting, that I was really going to have to put on some additions. So in 2005, I broke ground for the wing, and that was about 3,500 square feet, and it was all conceived for displaying as a museum. And now with the wing, the museum wing, it's just about 5,000 square feet. I have pretty much decided that I probably won't add any more square footage to at least to the footprint of this house. But what the challenge is trying to figure out new and creative ways to display all these artifacts. And not just the ones I have currently, but I have a whole future of collecting. Many people would like to know, what is my creative process, and do I plan, do I leave it to spontaneity? And it's all of those things. Building a structure this large literally takes every single aspect when you're doing it yourself. I didn't have contractors, I didn't have a team working, but generally something this scale definitely takes a lot of pre-planning. One of the most frequently asked questions is, people want to know, well, where do you live? And I say, well, that's kind of a strange question. I live here. But I guess because it's like a museum, it is a museum, people don't think that I actually live in this house, but the ballroom is my dining room and my living room, and I cook in that kitchen downstairs. And so the spaces are really built for my own personal use. Why? Why do I do this? Why do I continue to do it? And all I could say is that it's good old-fashioned obsession. Obsession is here, and passion is here, and the wheel keeps turning. Passion, obsession, passion, obsession. I can't really explain it. It is an awful lot of fun, and it is my diversion. It's my ego is all attached to this. So it's still a mystery, and it'll probably be always a mystery of why I want to continue this. But when it comes right down to it, I need a place to live. And why not just express myself in all of my forms of art? So this is what I call the Artichoke Portico. This was by far the most difficult project that I've ever done here. It's sprayed concrete over an armature, and it was about 3.5 tons of cement. It was very hard. There was lots of blood, sweat, and tears in this project, but it is the main entrance, so why don't you come on in. So here we are in what I would refer to as kind of the core of the house. This is my 30-foot tall atrium with a giant skylight. So imagine an Italian villa where there's a central courtyard and all the rooms are kind of overlooking this central space. So that was the concept. When I was building this, I wanted to kind of replicate an Italian villa. I have 15 rooms in the house, and there's 11 levels. Now, these are not stories. They're not like stacked on top of each other, but different levels where some you have to go up to go down. Level 4 does not attach to level 5. And one of my most favorite spaces is my biblioteca, the library. So my biblioteca, the library, I'd say as large as the house has gotten, I would have to say is probably one of my most favorite rooms in the new wing. It's dark, it's cozy, and in the wintertime it's actually the warmest room in the house. So this is generally my morning space, my meditation area, and of course my reference library, art books, and some very funny, odd artifacts that I've collected literally from all over the world. Well, early on in the development of this house, the first thing I did was build the most amazing bathroom, and it is really, really famous. So come on over and I'll show you the bathroom also. This was a 5-year project, and it is a monument to the body and its functions. So here we have all kinds of fixtures, including a shower that is right in the middle of the room. And there was a couple things that I wanted in this space. I needed to have a usable urinal, a bidet, and a shower that has no obstructions. And of course, a beautiful whirlpool bathtub. So one of the very interesting aspects of the bathroom, and also a running theme in my artwork, is sort of the phases of life. So here I made these stained glass windows depicting 4 stages of life. We have the miracle of creation. The second window is the blooming of adolescence. Here the depiction of us toiling as bees in the hive, and of course death, which just allows the cycle to continue again. So all around the house in the mosaic, sort of camouflaged within the ceramic items attached to the house, is all about this concept of birth, creation, death, transformation, and it kind of relates to my philosophy that I share with the alchemists in history. So this whole museum is referred to as the Museum of the New Alchemy. So now I'm going to take you upstairs. We're going to go from level 1 actually to level 3. So come on up. So this room I refer to as my Asia room. So 90% of the pieces in here were acquired on several trips to many different Asian countries that I've visited. But right down here on the floor is a place that is very significant. This will be my final resting place. So my ashes will be in this capsule on display as part of the museum in perpetuity. So one of my most favorite purchases on any of my trips is this set of doors that I found at a salvage yard outside of Beijing and had them shipped home. So this will lead us directly into the ballroom. Well, I recently heard that the definition of a mansion is that the house have a ballroom. And I have a ballroom, so I guess that means that I live in a mansion. But this ballroom happens to be so crowded that there will never be dancing taking place in here. So it functions as a classroom, museum, a dining room, and kind of general hangout room. So this is really, I'd say, one of my most dramatic spaces in the house because, first of all, the height of the ceiling, and it allows me to use the space as one of the main areas for displaying artifacts. So now that we've seen some of the more funny, odd parts of the house, we're going to go up to the upper levels, so levels 5 to 11. So come on with me. Okay, here we are. We're coming up to level 6. Now, level 6 is my thread studio. Now, I am a novice weaver. I pride myself on the range of different media that I work with, but the weaving is generally more of a winter project. Where do I rest? And here it is. Level 7 is my little bedroom. Well, here we are on the very top of the house. This is levels 10 and 11. So this roof deck was in the original concept when I was designing the house and constructing. It was the most recent construction. And as you can see, these are all wind machines. And on a really super windy day, it's really amazing. It's really, everything is spinning and clanging and banging. It sort of sets the stage for everything else on the house, which is very, very elaborate. There's all different facades of the house. There's copper, wood, galvanized steel, and lots of mosaic. And for me, mosaic is my most favorite expression as far as a wall treatment, and it's permanent. One of my favorite new kind of features of the house is this amazing fountain water feature that was made from all the recycled copper from 2 different major plumbing renovations over the last couple decades. The house, even in its early stages, was always sort of a spectacle, and it became very evident that people were very curious about my life and the project. And so I decided that opening the house would be a really good way to share it, as well as showcasing my artwork that was for sale. I am very happy to have just had my 32nd year anniversary of this house, and sometimes I look back and I think, oh my God, I can't believe how far it's come. But the reality is that I will be working on this house for the rest of my life, and when I finally do check out, then the project is done, and then my foundation will take over, and that'll be my legacy.
Thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next week with another unique home tour.